Have y'all come across this Viral Vogue article yet? It's called, "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" The title piqued my interest, and I'll drop a link to the article below. Here are my key takeaways and reactions to it. Let's get into it. I'm also curious if y'all think these perspectives only relate to straight hetero relationships, or if you think they can be more embracing of any partnership. Let's keep that framework in mind as we unpack this. Here's a quote from the article. "Women are rewarded for their ability to keep a man with elevated social status and praise." Okay, I find this very interesting. Whenever I'm talking about my dating escapades with a group to share or hear others' perspectives, it honestly doesn't sit well with me when a person uses their relationship status to justify their perspective. Everyone is different and everything is subject to change. And it really grinds my gears when someone is like, "Oh, you'll learn when you get to my level of status." It's like, what status are we talking about here? I did it again. I forgot to record a portion of my script. So here it is. We are all different people. How that person shows up in their relationship and how they give and receive love is going to be different from me and my partner. And security, to me, is based on your own sovereignty, not on external dynamic for validation. Relationships are a great teacher. I have learned to maneuver conflict, what I am and am not looking for, and when it's time to walk away. I've had some pretty painful heartbreaks in my life. They are not easy to come back from, and then to keep your heart open again. For better or worse, anything can happen. Just because someone is in a committed dynamic does not mean they have arrived or are superior. It's just a different state of being, and it's always subject to change. This article also dives into how people have shifted to sharing their relationship status online to be more discreet, such as a photo of clinking glasses at dinner that doesn't reveal identities. I appreciate keeping things private to keep outside opinions and influences out. I know that can cloud my judgment at times, or if I'm being honest, it may stem from wanting to brew up some jealousy or have an ego boost. So yeah, to stay clear of all that, I like to keep things private until me and that person have more agreements and commitments in place. Sharing in certain parts of my life experience is important to me, clearly. And also, I don't want to be a secret or be kept hidden in my partner's life. Based on my life experience, other motives are at play when that happens. I also respect people's needs for privacy or being off social media if that's part of their life structure. Transparent communication goes a long way to clearing up misinterpretations and false narratives we can spin up about the situation. To paraphrase, the article brings up the fear of future embarrassment by posting if the current relationship doesn't work out. Personally, I still have pictures of my exes on my digital feeds. I do take physical photos out of my home, especially when they're visible on a daily basis. Having space is so helpful to get disconnected and healed from the dismantling of a relationship. I do get to a point where I can honor the good times and appreciate all the lessons it taught me. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. I'm also the type of person that will die and sure, suffer on the hill I'm currently on. I do my best to own my choices and don't look back with regret, shame, or embarrassment. It can also be a nice reflection of the growth that has occurred. So preserving their digital presence for the time we had together works for me, but everyone is different. The article also goes into how a person's followers can get an ick from too much boyfriend content. Okay, I can appreciate this one. More so from in-person interactions, I'm not much of a PDA person. As a person who has witnessed some intense PDA, it's a bit uncomfortable. I feel like I'm an unwilling intruder and didn't agree to see all that. Seeing it digitally feels different because then I can scroll or remove myself from the situation. I'm a believer of live your best life with integrity and no harm to yourself or others. Okay, here's another quote I want to bring attention to. Being partnered doesn't affirm your womanhood anymore. It is no longer considered an achievement, And if anything, it's become more of a flex to pronounce yourself as single. I do feel like we're going through a big shift. There are pros and cons of being single versus partnered. Being single, I do have the ultimate freedom and solitude. I'm not having to maneuver another person or person's state of being. But I love love. And sometimes a girl just needs help opening a jar or wants some snuggles. When I've been single for an extended period of time with no warm leads, so to speak, isolation and loneliness can creep in. And when you come home after a hard day and all you have is yourself and no one to share anything with or receive comfort, that's really hard, especially if you're an external processor like me. And then when I go on trips with friends, I see how good it is to literally hear and feel and see more life around me. Coming back home, it can feel so quiet. And for those who have kids, I realize how blissful this may sound. I do love a more quiet environment, so I can imagine how overwhelming a loud house may be. It sounds simple, but the literal lack of another set of hands is a thing. And it's tough for me to reach out for help, especially when immediacy and proximity can be a challenge. I also respect if someone truly doesn't have capacity. I understand. I am seeking connections where reciprocity is present. I don't want to feel like I'm always reaching out. I do not chase. Romantic connections aside, it's so meaningful when someone reaches out to me. I do my best to show up as much as I can, and it's deeply meaningful to me when others initiate their presence. Personally, I do find as a society, we've become so independent and have forgotten how to nurture connections. When you're co-creating, I feel like it's important for each person to participate in fostering the connection. To compare it to caring for a plant, it needs water, sunlight, weeding, plant food, and general love and care. So how are you watering your connections? Or do you just show up to admire the plant as your schedule allows? I realize how that sounds. It's just how I feel. Intentionally carving out time is part of my process. We are all busy and have other existing commitments. How are we showing up to serve one another with our gifts? So, is it a flex to proclaim your singleness? Or are you feeling socially superior by being in a relationship? Either extreme does not service the individual or the parties involved. I'm not embarrassed to have a boyfriend or a partner in general. I don't feel like someone has it figured out just because they're partnered up. In regards to the masculine, I do feel like males have a lot of room for emotional growth and availability. I refuse to be someone's mother or mistress. I'm not here to fix you or help you access your emotions. I can be a supportive, but don't drain me. I have my own needs. And don't tap into my vulnerable physical side and then become inconsistent with availability or completely discard me. I'm seeking a consistent, secure, available partnership, and that has been hard to find.